Hello friend, how are you doing today? My name is Mary, this is Happilyeveresch, and today I want to share my May TBR with you. I can't believe that I'm saying it's May. I feel like that's a very common sentiment from a lot of the TBR videos I've already watched for May, and it's blowing my mind. But I'm so excited May is here. The weather has just been so gorgeous in mid-Missouri, so no complaints. But let's chat about what I hope to read this month. Now, I must admit, this is an over-ambitious bunch of books, as per usual. I probably won't get to all of these, but these are just some hopefuls, some things that are tickling my fancy at the current moment, so we will see if that holds to be true for the rest of May. But regardless, I do have some holdovers from my April TBR, the first one being Salvage the Bones by Jesmyn Ward, one that I still really want to get to. I've been saying that I want to read more Jesmyn Ward in 2021 and I have yet to do so. So I don't know if I'm in the mood for bleak, and I know, or like heavy maybe would be a better word, and I know her books can tend to be heavy. So while I do want to try to pick this up, I also want to be in the right headspace for it. So we'll see when I get to it, if it's this month. I want to be in a good spot to read this. So we'll see about that. And then I also have the next audiobook that I will be listening to. I have it in my queue ready to go on one of my Hoopla Libby accounts, I'm not sure which one, and that is When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole, which is a thriller that is exploring the idea of gentrification and kind of where are all these neighbors going when they're moving out of their homes in Brooklyn. So very interested. I'm hoping for like fast, quick thriller. I'm just kind of in the mood for that. But I also think that I love it when thrillers and mysteries like explore kind of deeper issues through like kind of a fast-paced genre read. So I'm really excited to give this one a go. So those were my two holdouts that I'm still very interested in reading in May. Now for the book that I definitely will be getting to, because Krista over at Books and Jams is hosting a read-along of Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis, and I've never read this before, and so I am very excited to get the opportunity to read it with lots of different people. So it's not very long, and we're taking the whole month to read it. I believe there are 4 different parts, and each week there will be a live show to chat about that respective part, so kind of a deep dive. I do plan to read this pretty slowly over the month, but I'm really excited to finally read this, as this is a very foundational text for a lot of believers and a lot of Christians, and so I'm very interested in giving this a go. I've only read some of the Narnia series and the Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis, so I definitely want to read more of his theological work. I know he's very influential in a lot of the 2 churches that I've gone to since being an adult, and yeah, so I'm really interested to finally get to this one. And I picked this up at a used bookstore, I think on my honeymoon. Yeah, it looks like 2015 is when the sticker was. So yeah, on my honeymoon I picked this up and still haven't read it. That was 6 years ago. So I should get to it. Next, want to be making a dent in my Book of the Month Club picks. So I have pulled one that I'm very excited to read, and that is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry, which is a romance contemporary fiction book. I loved Emily Henry's beach read last year. I thought it was really smart and a little meta and kind of a little genre bending, but still just like a fun romance. And so I'm hoping that this kind of meets all of those expectations that I've built up in my mind since reading Beach Read. I don't know a lot about this, but I don't really want to know a lot about it. Emily Henry contemporary romance, yes, I'm here for it. So very excited to get into that one. And then another Book of the Month Club pick, which is my BookTube spin choice. The number 1 was rolled. I hope I wasn't spoiling that for you. It's been chosen for a couple days now, but number 1 was the pick, and the first one on my pile was Infinite Country by Patricia Engel, which is another Book of the Month Club pick. Pretty short. The BookTube spin has been rather kind to me with some short, quicker reads the last time and this time. So yeah, I'm excited to give this one a go. She wrote Veins of the Ocean, which I also own, and I haven't read, but so this is her second book to be a Book of the Month Club list. I know Reese Witherspoon has also picked this for her book club, so I'm really excited to read it. It seems to be following a family who split because of immigration. There are people waiting in America and people waiting in Colombia, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so it's a family split by the immigration system, essentially, and the family in America waiting for the family in Colombia to basically reunite, and it's the story of this. I believe, like, I've read the first page, and it starts off with like a pretty like intense act of violence, which I think is really interesting because I've also read the beginning of her Veins of the Ocean novel, which also starts out with a pretty intense act of violence. So I think that that's an interesting way that this author has obviously chosen to start two stories, and so I'm interested to see how she kind of plays with that, and yeah, like what comes of that, and like what comes of the story in general. It sounds like it's going to do a lot in not even 200 pages. Yeah, let's see. Yes, this book is not even 200 pages. It's 191 in my edition. So yeah, I'm interested to see what all the hype is about this one. Hope that I really enjoy her writing because I own another one of her novels. Okay, and then I have 3 books here. I will not get to all 3 of them, but they kind of are this author's work, and that is Jane Austen. Okay, so I've read Mansfield Park and Persuasion. I love the movie adaptation of Mansfield Park, which is very like loosely based on Mansfield Park, but also takes a lot of inspiration from Jane Austen's actual life. So I think loving the movie so much definitely, I think, hindered my enjoyment of the actual text, but I did really enjoy Persuasion. So I have 3 other of her novels here because I would like to get to a Jane Austen. My friend Annie over at the channel Eat, Drink, and Be Reading read an Austen last year, is reading one again, and I was like, I think I would like to read some Jane Austen as well. So I have here Pride and Prejudice. I know, I've never read Pride and Prejudice. I kind of know what the storyline is because, like, I think if you're a reader and you like hear people who love Jane Austen talk about this, like, you probably know. But I have this as an option. I also have Emma, which I know is a lot of people's favorites. So we'll see. And then I have this gorgeous copy of Sense and Sensibility. This is the one I want to read just because this edition is the prettiest. And it's got gorgeous end papers. But I don't know. We'll see. Which one, like, give me your opinions. Where should I go next with Austen? Having read and really enjoyed Persuasion and read Mansfield Park and thought it was okay. I'd love to know. I've kind of always thought that I would keep Pride and Prejudice to the end. I don't know why. Just, I don't know. Maybe because it's like, it seems to be her most loved. I also think I own Northanger Abbey and I just didn't pull it up. So that's an option as well. I have Northanger Abbey. So I'd love to know, where should I go next with Austen? Give me your hot takes. I'd love some opinions and some help, but I really would like to read an Austen this month. She seems like a spring, summer read. And that's it. That's all I have planned for this month. So we'll see. I'm sure I will end up picking things that are not on my TBR. I'm a pretty big mood reader, so I kind of like see where the wind takes me. I don't feel super committed to any of these books, but I would be quite happy if I got through all of them. So I'd love to know what you are picking up this month. Are you joining in the Mere Christianity read along? Definitely give me your thoughts on which Jane Austen I should read next. I need some help. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.